is your name, please?
My name is Bill Anderson.
My name is Bill Anderson.
My name is Bill Anderson.
Panel, would you please listen while I read? I, Bill Anderson, was a college student 6 years ago. Today, I am generally considered to be the top composer of country music in the nation. Country or hillbilly music accounts for almost half of all the record sales in these United States. One of my songs sold over 3 million copies. Country music's equivalent of the Oscar is the BMI Award. I have won this award 23 times to date. In the 6 years since I left college, I have written some 350 published songs. Signed, Bill Anderson. Time to vote. Without consultation, please mark your ballots, selecting, if you will, number 1, number 2, or number 3. And again, I'm curious to see how you vote. Everybody said? Okay, Tom, how did you vote this time?
I voted for number 1, Bob. And I think CBS just bought the Fender bass company. I'm surprised that they weren't aware of that.
Is that right? Peggy?
Well, I goofed. I voted for number 3, but now I just remembered he had to look down in his own suit to see if there were snowflakes. If he just said it would be in the closet, he'd know there were snowflakes.
Orson?
I was all set to vote for number 3, and there's something about the way he said that Minnie Pearl was a comedian in the Grand Ole Opry, even though she is, that shifted me over to number 1. It's a bad reason, but the best I could come up with.
Hey, Kitty.
I voted for number 3. I thought number 3 gave the best answers, and I still don't understand why they're wearing those costumes.
Well, you may find out in a minute. All the votes are in, their minds are made up. Do you at home agree with them? Well, we'll find out now. Let's see which of these 3 gentlemen is the real composer of country music. Will the real Bill Anderson please stand up?
No.
Oh! That's the real Bill Anderson. Now, will the real Bill Anderson please stand up? Whoa! Whoa! Come on over, Bill.
Oh, thank you.
Have a seat. Renee, would you give me a Coke or something? Thank you. How you doing, guy?
I'm doing well.
Thanks for stopping by.
Have I aged a little bit since then?
Not that I can tell. But how many songs have you written since then?
Oh, a whole bunch of them. That was a fun night. That was done in New York City, of course. And you can tell how well-known Bill Anderson was back then, because nobody, knew who I was. Interesting little tidbit. The guy in the middle is very famous for something
Orson,
way...
was it Bean? What was his name?
No, the guy in the middle, the 3 of us.
Yeah.
The guy on the left, number 1, he was a bookseller from Birmingham, Alabama. The guy in the middle was a professional baseball player. He was a pitcher for the Boston Red Sox at that time, and he threw the pitch that Roger Maris hit for his 61st home run. His name was Tracy Stallard.
Thank you, Renee.
Yeah. That's who the other 2 guys were.
Well, I found it interesting that at Kitty Calamity, that's the way New York looks at country.
Well, I didn't understand what she meant. I said Minnie Pearl was a comedian.
He said, comedian. And
that's what she
threw him
is.
off.
Why? That's what she was.
And then she said, I still can't understand why they wear those costumes.
Earlier in the show, she had asked me, she said, number 3, why do you have on that costume? Well, they had told me to bring 2. In fact, number 1 was wearing one of my costumes, too. That was one of mine.
Yeah.
And they told me to bring that. So, and I was sworn to tell the truth. So she said, why are you wearing that? I said, because it's all I have. And it was the truth, but it got a big laugh from the crowd.
You've always been a songwriter, haven't you?
I came to Nashville to be a songwriter.
But you started out as a disc jockey.
Before that, yeah, I was a disc jockey.
I found it interesting that, and you tell me if this is true or not, back in Georgia, somebody engineered at a radio station your first song, or you engineered somebody else's first song at a radio station?
First record I ever made for a little company out of San Antonio, Texas, was engineered in a radio station in Decatur, Georgia, right outside of Atlanta, by a guy that went on to have some pretty good records himself. At the time, he was a disc jockey there. His name was Roy Drusky.
My goodness. Incredible.
Roy denied that most of his life. I never did that. Don't blame me.
Will you sing for us?
Well, I'll try. I've sung for my supper before.
That's right. Well, why don't you swing around now? Let's get Sheriff Capps. Will you stop talking to the waitress?
Oh,
Why should he?
I'm taking one girl into custody over here.
I love it. Sheriff Capps,
Yes.
you got your guitar?
I do. Just happen to have it laying right here.
Boy, now I understand that you used to play at a club down the road
I probably did.
until your G-string broke.
Well, it was tuned too high.
What are you going to sing?
I don't know. He stands over there behind me in my band a whole lots of times.
Well, let's see what's on the menu
See what's
here.
I think the
about
key of E
folks?
and about this tempo is on the menu. Oh, sorry, pick your pick up.
Wait. It's under your...
A whole lot of people are.
Now,
Well, would you like to join in? Woo! There's a whole lot of people looking down their noses at me. Boy, is that the truth. 'Cause I didn't come from a wealthy family, and that's the truth too. There was 10 of us living in a 2-room shack on the banks of the river by the railroad track. And we kept chickens in a pen in the back, and everybody said we was poor folks. My daddy was a farmer, but all he ever raised was us. He dug a 40-foot well and hit 36 gallons of dust. The Salvation Army gave us clothes to wear. A man from the county came to cut our hair. We lived next door to a millionaire, but we wasn't nothing except poor folks. Stay with me, Sheriff. We was poor folks living in a rich folks' world. We sure was a hungry bunch. If the wolf had ever come to our front door, he'd have had brought a picnic lunch. My granddaddy's pension was $1.33. That was $10 less than the landlord wanted for rent. The landlord's letters got nasty indeed. He wrote, "Get out," but Paul couldn't read, and we was too broke to even pay heed. But that's how it is when you're poor folks. Now pick it, turn it around. We was poor folks living in a rich folks' world. We sure was a hungry bunch. If the wolf had ever come to our front door, we'd have had to send him down to Larry's Diner and get lunch. But we had something in our house money can't buy. Kept us warm in the winter and cool when the sun was high. Fire whenever we didn't have food enough, and the howling winds would get pretty rough. We patched the cracks and we set the table with love, 'cause that's what you need to do. That's what you do when you're poor folks, and we wasn't nothing but poor folks. My mama and my daddy was poor folks. My brother and my sister was poor folks. My dog and my cat was poor folks. And even Keith Bilbrey was poor folks.
That's good.
That was unrehearsed.
These clips are great, but to see where country legacy lives in full episodes, go to countryroad.tv.